Right now, the one injury we have is Derek Carr. Got hit in his chest and went in the tent and came back out, and we'll see how he is going into this. But right now, it seems like he's fine. The only thing I want to start with is just our defense. I mean, really haven't come up with a word yet to describe it. First and foremost, I'd say it was outstanding. It was phenomenal. It was awesome. It was relentless, competitive effort, down in and down in and down in and down in. And can't say enough about how excited we are about the way our defense played. I think we gave up 18 rushing yards in the entire game. They kept us in it the whole day. Before the half, the turnovers before the half, we just had some poor execution. We wanted to stay aggressive. We thought we'd get into a 2-minute deal at the end and use our timeouts, and we didn't do a very good job with that, obviously. It was poor. It was poor on my part, wanting to stay aggressive, and we just poor execution there. So you look at the 36 minutes of time of possession for us, and then our ability to come out in the second half and respond the way we did on offense, running the football, the drive to start the second half. I think it's 75 yards, 9-play drive, and to go down there and score in that fashion certainly gave our defense a little bit of juice again. That we came out and responded well to help them the way in which they were playing in the first half, and they responded by just doing it again throughout the entire second half. So all that being said, I'll take any questions you may have.
Rich, going back to the end of that first half and kind of how it played into how you started the second half, it almost felt like there was a little bit of anger or edge to the offense when they came out in that second half, and especially Josh Jacobs' way he was running the ball. Did you kind of sense that there was a little bit of trying to make up for something that may have happened?
Well, I think obviously, we'd all like to play with anger, and we'd like to play with edge, and Josh does that when he carries the football. We certainly weren't happy with the way the first half ended. Right? We turned the ball over twice, put our defense in a bad situation, and the results were what they were. So I thought we had a good halftime adjustment, came out and have the ability to run the football in the second half, and then obviously our defense responded again with great energy and great effort and gave us the ball at times where we could go do something with it.
Rich, Maxx Crosby making plays on passing plays and rushing plays on both sides of the ball. He continues to evolve as a player. What do you think is his ceiling? I mean, he just seems to be getting better every week.
Yeah, I just think it's his mental state. He plays like he thinks. He practices like he thinks. His meetings are like he thinks. I challenge anyone to find a play this year that he's taken off in a game, and certainly speaks to his conditioning, certainly speaks to his mindset, and certainly speaks to the man that he's becoming. He's a leader not only by things that he says, but most certainly by the power of example, his actions.
Rich, all season it's been about the receiving depth. And
Could you be a little louder, please? The mask, I can't. Thank you.
It's been about the receiving depth. Today, 7 targets and Derek hit everyone at least once, and they seemed like they were quality catches. Didn't need the big play, but they were timely and quality. Just the fact of being able to utilize all 7 targets and coming up with big catches.
Yeah, and a credit certainly to Derek and Deshaun. We lost Brian Edwards this morning to COVID. I had a great conversation with Deshaun before the game, and I told him, to put on his 22-year-old cleats today. And he certainly did that. He stepped up. You can see the pro that he is, the way in which he went about his business all week, but certainly what he had to do today to come in and step in the role where he played a lot of plays for us, not only in the pass game but in the run game, and then for him and Derek to start connecting like they did was big for us.
Hey, Rich, what did you see as far as your ability to run the ball in the second half? You guys did a really nice job in the second half running.
Yeah, I think Ole and Coach Caves did a great job making an adjustment, to some of the techniques that we were getting from them up front. Gave us the ability to run some of the plays that we had been working on, a couple of different runs that we put in for this particular game, but to go downhill a little bit more, and then a credit to the offensive line to come out. And they had a little edge as well, certainly, and we could do a little bit better on some of the edges in the pass protection, but I think they came out with their mindset. We thought we could run the football. I think that's what you saw from those guys early in the second half.
Rich, you guys were pretty shorthanded in the secondary. Nate Hobbs came back, but it seemed like he was more of a special teams role today. And you had a couple other guys out. I know the run defense was obviously, first and foremost today, but what did you think about the way that the secondary played with all those absences that you had? Yeah,
again, I just think, our mindset around here, I know it's a cliche, next man up type thing, but we all know that because of COVID, the situation that we're all in, we lost Hobbs last week on the morning of the game. It happened to us again today. So a credit again to our defense, a credit to those guys that were prepared to go in and play, and I thought they all played well, and it was good to get Nate back, and he missed a bunch of time on the field So he was able to be a part of our kicking game for us a little bit, and Keyshawn handled a little bit more of the defense today. But it was an all-in mentality. Everybody held on to the rope today.
Coach, are you seeing a team play like the season's on the line?
Certainly, yeah. I think we're seeing a team that has responded well to adversity, whether it's before the game or whether it's during the game. To come out and play like that offensively and defensively in the second half again, the way defense played for us in the first half, to go through Murphy's Law to end the second half. So I think we're seeing a team that is responding to adversity, and we're learning how to respond to prosperity. We're learning how to win a little bit better as well. So just a credit to the coaches, a credit to the players, the way in which they responded to all things that have happened throughout the week, from this morning, and then certainly throughout the game.
Coach, kind of a follow-up to Tayshawn's question. With all the members out in the secondary, Desmond Trufant was a guy that really stepped in and got a lot of snaps and played really well. What was your first initial thoughts of kind of how he played today?
Yeah, again, I thought he played well. I told him at halftime I thought he was tackling really well. He was in position to put his body on guys. He had guys covered up pretty well. I think you saw a couple double moves against him, and he was step for step on guys over there on the sideline. So, again, it's a guy that's been a true pro since he's been in here. He's had other opportunities in games to go in and play. At the end of the Dallas game, he has to go in and play. They have 2 targets at him. He does a good job against both, and I thought he did a good job again today.
Rich, it's December. You're playing meaningful games. It felt like your stadium came to life today as well. Could you talk about their response, the fans' response to coming down the stretch in that game?
Yeah, we kept them in the game early. They were excited for us. Certainly, the towels were waving, and then we dulled their spirits a little bit right before the half. So it was exciting to feel the second half when we started to run the ball like that. They started to come back to life. It was electric. We thought on the sideline. I think you saw Max and Unique and those guys on the sideline working the crowd, and it was exciting for us to do a good enough job to get them back in the crowd and make them be a part of the game on the plus side for us. So we were excited to finally get a win at home. And for our crowd to be behind us, it was exciting to hear Raider Nation. They were loud. They were really loud at the end.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Happy New Year early.
Hey, Hunter, after the way that first half ended, it almost felt like you guys came out in the second half. I don't know if it was angry or with a little bit of an edge, but in that first drive, it felt like you guys were playing with a little bit of a chip on your shoulder. Did that kind of carry over and sort of set the tone for you guys in that second half?
Yeah, I think it did. I think sometimes you can take negatives. Obviously, the end of the first half was not a very good thing for us, and we kind of dug ourselves in a hole. And, we didn't really talk about it at halftime. We all felt it. And we all felt that our defense had been playing incredible, and we're going to have to come out and, pound the rock and then, just beat them up front. And offensive line did a great job of that, and we were able to make some plays.
Hunter, you got noticeably really hyped up after that touchdown that Carr threw you in the corner of the end zone. Can you just kind of go over that play and how excited you were to really catch that ball? Yeah,
I mean, we got a touchdown. Trying to think, was it 7-0 at that point to make it 7-0? I try to stay the same for the majority of the game, but Derek threw a great ball. Zay Jones did a great job of, going to get that corner out of there, and something we practiced. So, it felt good, but it was in the first quarter, so, we had a long way to go to finish the game.
Hunter, I don't think it matters what level. I'm sure this has happened to you before as a receiver. You can watch a guy like Jacobs kind of just take over and just stand there and just kind of see him do that. Can you talk about that, especially the first drive of that second half where obviously guys just rode him? And
yeah, no, absolutely. He did a great job bouncing back from the fumble he had. And, he's a great player, and that's what great competitors do. And it's fun as a receiver to see we just got on his back and let him go to work behind him and the offensive line. Gets a lot of credit. They were moving people, and so it's fun for receivers because it opens everything else up. And I think we're at our best when we can run the ball. And Josh did a great job of establishing that. I think at 100-something yards first time this year. So he's a baller, and we're going to need him if we're going to win these next two and get in the playoffs. We're going to need him to carry us.
Hunter, your defense gives up only 18 rushing yards. Talk about, as an offensive player, how that impacts you guys when your defense is playing at such an elite level, please.
And they have the last couple weeks. And we've tried to screw it up for them a few times. But, they've done a great job of, stopping the run, and that's where it starts. It starts from the inside out, and so, it gives you a lot of confidence because you don't have to be perfect, and you know that the defense is going to have your back no matter what. And great teams just find a way to feed off each other, and our defense has given us that these last couple weeks for sure.
Hunter, it's December. There's a lot to play for right now, and it felt like your stadium kind of came to life for you guys. How good did that feel, getting the crowd into it?
No, we have a great fan base, and it was almost like a Christmas lull there in the first half, and especially the way we ended the half. But the stadium came alive, fans came alive, and they rallied behind our defense, rallied behind our run game, and that was huge. It was a big lift for our team.
Hey, Hunter, going back to Josh, can you tell when he gets it going, there's a difference in the way he's running the ball, the way he's acting out there when he gets his momentum?
When he's not talking, that means he's rolling. Whenever he's kind of got that mean look on his face, you can feel it in the huddle. You can feel it on the sideline. And so, he's a special player, and, he hasn't been able to show that as much this year, but he is deadly, and we're going to need him, last couple games.
Hunter, you talked a little bit about last drive of the first half, first drive of the second half, kind of polar opposites. What was the mood in the locker room? What was the conversation like in the locker room?
Yeah, I think, the mood was we dug ourselves in a hole. I don't want to say embarrassed because, we did it to ourselves. And at first it was a little bit of a shock, when they're running the ball to the end zone. But then it was just like, all right, we're going to either lay down or we're going to come out here and, save our season. And defense did a great job of stepping up whenever, we went out there and get the touchdown, and it worked out.
Hey, Hunter, you join a very short list of Raiders wide receivers that have had at least 90 receptions in one season. That list being Tim Brown and Jerry Rice. What does it mean to you to have your name next to those guys?
Yeah, it's incredible. Those are two of the best to ever play, especially for the Raiders. And so, it's an honor to be mentioned with those guys. It's not about that. It's about winning games for sure. But Derek's done a great job of giving me the ball this year, and the offensive line has done a great job of stepping up and letting them get the ball to me. So I don't know. It's cool, but let's see how we finish this thing out.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Hunter.
Andre, can you just talk about that first drive of the second half? You guys, come out with the ball after the way you went into halftime and just kind of, run it down the throat. Is that kind of the identity that you guys wanted, and what happened there?
For sure. Coming out of that second half, we just, we talked as offensive line. We just kind of wanted to take that game over and get that running game going, and it, helped everything else, come together. So,
Andres, kind of following up on that, was your best rushing performance so far this season. Was something that changed for you all in this game, or something that you improved in technique-wise? I know as a young unit, you've all been kind of working on getting that camaraderie and coming together all season. Was it something that clicked for you all today?
Right. We've been on short weeks pretty much last 2 weeks, so we really haven't had a real practice. It's all been walkthrough. So these last couple of weeks in walkthrough, we've just been trying to be super detailed. Credit, to Colton, B. Park, John and Alex, man, they came out and did their thing, and I'm super proud of them. The way Josh and Barber were running it, man. It was awesome.
Josh had a kind of a big mistake to end that first half. We've seen it before where athletes just say, okay, you know what? I want to redeem myself as quickly as possible. And it seemed like he came out in that second half playing with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder or anger or something. Did you guys sense that and feel that?
Oh, for sure. I mean, to block for someone like Josh Jacobs, man, you got to love it as offensive lineman, because he's going to give you his all in every play. And it makes it easy as offensive lineman the way he hits those holes sometimes. So we wouldn't want to block for anyone else. Super proud of him and the way he came out and performed today.
At halftime, what was it like for you guys? The O-line at halftime, what was the message? What were you guys talking about at halftime?
Just keep playing. Game of football is crazy, man. It's not always going to go your way. So just to keep pushing and to keep doing what we were doing and improve on the things we were doing well, and correct the mistakes that we were making. So just keep pushing was the message.
Andre, to sort of piggyback on Tishon and Vic's question, Rich had said credit Coach Cable for making some adjustment, tweaking some things, and work with you at halftime. What exactly were those things, if you mind telling us, that he pointed out that you guys were doing wrong or that you needed to match up better against their DL?
Coach Cable's an awesome coach, man. Every week he comes up with a game plan that we're all super excited about, we trust, and that's important as an offensive line, just as an offensive unit in general, because it takes the whole team to be able to run the ball. It takes the wide receivers. It takes DC to know when to check it. So, we went and made those adjustments at halftime. We know they were bringing certain pressures, and just to dial in the run plays and the calls into those pressures, credit to him,
Andre, I know you're not a rookie, but it's your first year starting and you're a young player. It seems to be this was the best game, both rushing, adjustments, making some adjustments on the line, and in pass blocking. Do you feel like this was your best game so far?
Yeah, I just look to improve every week, man. That's my goal, and I mean that's really everyone's goal. So I'm just going to try to keep getting better. Next week we got a good opponent in Indy. We got to fly there, so it's a next week basis. So we're excited to get after it.
Two more, Adam and Levi.
I know all of you guys on the O-line have been consistent all year. You just don't pay attention to the outside noise. You don't care about the criticisms, anything like that. But I mean, is there any sense of like, oh yeah, we did it today? It's like that sense of pride that you feel.
Yeah, anytime you're able to get the coach to run the ball that many times as offensive lineman, you get excited. It's nice to pass the ball and everything, but the run game is, that's offensive lineman. That's a character of offensive lineman. So we were excited to have the offensive coaching staff have the trust in us to be able to run the ball like that.
Going into late December, still playing meaningful games. Speaking just for you in the offensive line, do you feel like a sense of urgency to really heighten your level of play, or you just come in every day and just continue to do what you've always been doing? What's the mindset?
Right. It's just every day to get better, like I was saying earlier. That's the goal. As an offensive lineman, it's all about consistency. You could be doing good for 10 plays, you might have one bad play, and people are going to be on you. It's all about consistency. So just get better every week. That's what we're trying to do.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Andre.
They screw y'all back?
Yeah.
Y'all are crammed in there.
Derek, you guys finished the first half kind of in a bad way.
Yeah.
But obviously it's sometimes it's not what happens, it's how you respond. And it seems like you guys came out, whether it was a chip on the shoulder or mad or angry or whatever it was, but it felt like you played with a lot of purpose to start that second half. Was that the response you wanted to see? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, it's football, they're going to make plays too, we don't want to help them in that. But, we fumble it, and then, we go to throw a screen, which is going to be huge, and the guy's falling down. I try and throw it, and he jumps up one-handed, and not today, because the whole game we were getting the things that we wanted in the pass game and the run game, the looks that we liked, and all of those things. So it was more just like we were just mad, but a confidence that we knew we were going to come out strong because we were running efficiently, we were throwing it efficiently. The play action game was awesome for us. And so it was a lot of confidence, but more of a heightened, just a sense of urgency coming out like, hey, let's get this taste out of our mouth. So it's good that we could go down and run the ball like that, throw into D-Jack, and get back in the end zone.
Derek, your defense was outstanding. They gave up 18 rushing yards. As a quarterback, how much does it make the offense better when the defense is just playing at that level? You haven't had that much in your career here.
Do I get credit for that? Do I get credit for holding them to 18? No, that's they did a great job today, and so proud of them. I told them in there, I was like, if we can run to win a championship, running the football and playing defense, and then quarterbacks, we just try and make the best decision possible every time, and try and get it to the open guys, things like that. And so if we can play like that and get hot doing that kind of stuff, that's going to help us. It doesn't guarantee anything, but it's definitely a good formula into winning. All the championship teams, you look back mostly, play some solid defense, or they're great on situations or take the ball away, and you're able to run the football, because then the play action game, you saw a lot of play actions today where those windows are there, and when you're running it like that, you want to call those play action. I mean, 3rd and 2 to win it, to Foster is a play action, kind of pass, and it's good for our team to be able to win a game like that. We didn't have to throw it for 300 yards. I'm tired of hearing that stat. Throw it for 300 to win a game. We didn't have to do that. We don't have to do that, and I'm proud of our offensive line and our defense. And I hope they get a lot of credit for today's win.
Two-part question. They're kind of unrelated, so sorry about that. But second straight game, you got kind of banged up. How are you feeling? And then the second part, you just mentioned the 3rd and 2 play. Was that your call? Was that Ole's call? How did that kind of thought process go?
Yeah. So the 3rd and 2 play is all Ole. It was a play that we liked in that situation, but he just he had the guts to call it right there. Obviously that's tough to pull the trigger on that, and he pulled the trigger on it, and Foster won. He did a great job. And my body. I never lied to you, so I'll tell you, I just don't feel good.
Hey, Derek, how would you describe the way that Josh ran the ball in the second half?
Oh, man, I told him, I was like, the way his feet were moving after contact, some of those holes that, I turned around and didn't see anything, and he just punctured a hole in there with his strength. Kareem was coming downhill trying to kill him, and, Josh was, putting his shoulder into him. It was very aggressive. I think that'd be the word I'd use from my point of view. It was a very aggressive running style in that second half, and it helped us win that football game. It was really unbelievable, especially that first drive, going that way. The way he was cutting and running. I think that I told him, I said, I think that's the best drive I've ever seen you have. It was really that impressive to me.
Derek, for weeks now, we've asked, is Darren available? Darren's not available. And then today you lose Brian before the game. You targeted 7 guys. You hit them each at least once.
Yeah.
2-part question. To have those quality passes with each one of those guys. And Foster Moreau, while everyone's wondering where Darren is, he's really stepped up in his time and being able to be there for you, and your confidence growing with him.
Absolutely. My confidence, especially with Foster, is always sky high. He's like a guy like Hunter who's over at the house all the time, whether we're playing basketball with my kids, my kids, have a relationship with Foster. They have certain jokes they have together. When Foster tore his knee, his rookie year, he was, scored a touchdown. He said, "Next touchdown I score, I'll get you the ball, buddy," to my son. And he tore his knee, and my son asked him, "Where's the ball?" Things like that. And it just, our relationship and our chemistry is so close. Not just us 2 or us 3, but the whole team. And you see what Mr. Mayock and everybody was trying to do in building this team was have guys that can play, that can do things. It may not be the same things, but can do things to help you win football games behind guys. And you never think that you're going to have to use all of them. You never think that you're going to need to use all of them, but we have, and we are, and they're making great plays. And I don't think Mr. Mayock and everyone on our staff who puts this team together every week, I don't think they've gotten enough credit, because we're finding ways to win games, and some guys are stepping up into roles that from the beginning of the year you didn't think that was going to be their role, and it's been awesome, it's been impressive, it's been fun to watch for me.
Let's do 3 more. We'll go Levi, John, and then Vinny.
With everything that's been going on recently, just with coming off of a short week and everything with the injuries and COVID, do you really think that, how happy are you with the momentum that you guys are really picking up in such a crucial time of the season? Yeah,
well, we're finishing stronger than we have, and we still have 2 games left against 2 really hard, difficult teams, and it's going to take everything that we have, especially one on the road and then one back here at home against a rival. But we're doing, what we want to do right now. We're winning football games. We're finding a way to win, whether it's a 2-minute drive or whether it's 4-minute and trying to put somebody away at the end. We're just finding ways to win. And at the end of the day, that's been praying for moments like this. Just praying for moments. We find ways to win at the end of the year so we can just get in the tournament. That's all we're trying to do.
Derek, you talk about meaningful football games late in December. Are you seeing a team that's playing with desperation when you're out there, with playing like the season's on the line?
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't sense a different kind of urgency or a different kind of mindset. I think that we've had a good mindset from the leader's perspective, and trying to push that out to the rest of the team. And I think that we've been good at that all year. I think that right now I talk about those details of our footwork having to be right when we make a certain call. Your fundamentals have to be right, or you're going to get beat on that, and all of those things. I think that we're doing those things better right now. I think that's the difference. And after some of those games where I'd be a little upset or things like that, I would talk about the fundamentals, the details, the placement of your eyes and your hands, your feet, your decision making, all of those kind of things, and taking care of the football. It's amazing that we won a game again by turning the ball over, and that just gives credit to our defense, and they're playing well. But I don't sense anything different. If I sensed anything different, I'd tell you. But our guys just come into work. We're going to come into work tomorrow like nothing even happened today, and we're going to go to work, and we're going to try and get as healthy as we can by Sunday and get ready to play.
Derek, you talked last week about you guys, the players, providing the energy for this stadium, and it felt like that all kind of came together in the second half. Did you guys notice and feel the energy that Allegiant Stadium then responded back toward you guys? Absolutely.
This was the most home field advantage feeling I felt, all season. And it was really cool. And the way that they were loud on defense. We would hit a big play into the red zone, and it was quiet. Thank you. Like that stuff matters. We got to be able to communicate, and you want that to be an advantage when you're at home. And so I say thank you to our fans. But I thought today was unbelievable. They did a great job, and given our, hopefully we made some plays to get them excited for the defense, and they did. And when we were on offense, they'd clap and then they'd sit down until we were able to score a field goal or a touchdown, and that helps us when we're at home. It's an advantage for us.
Okay, great. Thank you, everyone.
Good. Thank you. Yep, appreciate it.
The way the first half ended for you guys, you obviously responded in the second half, especially that third quarter drive to start. Were you playing with a little bit of anger at that point that you kind of wanted to, make up for what had happened in that first half?
A little bit, but not only that, I kind of went into the halftime and talked to the coaches, and I was like, let me get in the rhythm. Just give me a chance to, to play the style of ball that I want to play. In the offensive line, we all came to agreement. We went out there and did it and executed.
Josh, Hunter said that when you get going like that, you stop talking. Do you realize that? Is that something you're kind
Yeah, man. I noticed that because, like, when I get in I know when I get in the rhythm because I start making extra little plays, moves. Not only that, everything kind of slows down for me. And I just kind of get in that zone. And I told him today, I was like, man, I was tired before the game. I thought it was going to be one of them games where I come in, I'm like real winded. And I really didn't remember myself getting tired that much. But yeah, I kind of get quiet. I kind of just get in that zone.
Josh, you mentioned talking about the rhythm and being in the zone. Did you feel like the closer on that last drive, that 3-minute drive when you guys had to hold on to the rock and you did a lot of the heavy lifting?
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was going to come down to that. And I remember Curb used to always tell me, inspire the play caller. And he was like, man, you finished the game with making a statement. And I knew that it was going to come down to me either doing it or not doing it. So I was just happy that the offensive line blocked as well as they did today. And they allowed me to go out there and execute.
Josh, you guys have put yourself in a position now where these next 2 games have huge meaning and there's a lot to play for. How excited are you guys about that, and what kind of energy is that provided in that locker room?
Man, the last 2 weeks, even at practice, the last 2 weeks have been like crazy. Like you could feel like the tension and the urgency at practice. You know what I'm saying? Even in our walkthroughs, you see guys like really like paying attention to the details and things like that. So I mean, you could tell that the guys want it. And I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, even today when we had all the adversity that we had in the first half, people came out there and we still played because we know what's at stake and we know what we want to accomplish. So yeah, it's definitely been a great energy booster for us.
Josh, this offensive line has had their struggles this year, but even when they've struggled, you've stood there and supported them and talked about their improvement. How proud are you to see their maturation and growth into what you saw today?
I mean, I've been noticing a lot lately, like the last few games, the second or third series, you could see them, all the guys getting a rhythm. And we start running the ball and we start dominating how I feel like we always could have. I mean, just to see that growth and development, man, and see how I see every day how they work and things like that, just to see them come out there and put it together and show the world what they're capable of. I mean, I think it's huge for them.
What do you think of the cleats, first, that you had? And two, you had an illness. You didn't feel great this week. So did you even surprise yourself not getting winded?
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. Last game, it was a game time decision for me to even play in the game. And I told them they were trying to keep me out the game, and I told them there's no way with what we trying to accomplish, like trying to get to the playoffs. There's no way I'm not gonna play in this game. So I played in that game. I mean, the next few days, I probably lost like 10 pounds that week. It was just one of them things where I just wanted to, you know what I'm saying, be out there and be with the guys. So coming in today, that's why I was kind of like, I didn't know how I was going to be. But we kind of just put our head down and we battled.
Josh, just the last couple of times you've talked to us, you've really talked about how much you've really been challenging your teammates to be great, especially your offensive line and the offense around you. Do you really think you've really been growing as a leader of this team, especially as a team captain?
I think the biggest thing that I've learned from being a leader is how to follow, how to respect the guys, and how to get the attention of the guys in a way that's positive and in a way that motivates. I mean, I respect every guy in that locker room, and I see what they do on a daily basis of how they challenge themselves to want to get better, and they get the respect out of me. So I just try to tell them, just try to hold them to the standard that I know that they're capable of. Even with myself, man, they hold me to that standard when I mess up and I make mental errors or I fumble the ball and things like that. They tell me and they let me know, and I respect that. And that's just the biggest thing. I think it's just a relationship and a respect level that we have amongst the guys to want to complete the goal that we want to go to.
Josh, as the defense continued to get them off the field, it just kept bringing you guys out on the field. Could you feel their defense wearing down without getting a lot of rest?
Yeah, I mean, one drive, we had like a 13-play drive or something crazy like that. And I remember looking at our guys, and I was like, we weren't breathing that heavy. The offensive line wasn't breathing heavy. And I remember looking at them, and everybody had like their hands on their hips and stuff. I said, yeah, we about to start gassing them. And that's just kind of what happened. I mean, I think we came in prepared, and mentally we just wanted it more.
All right, thanks everyone.
I appreciate it.
These last two wins has put you guys in a position where,
Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. These last two wins have set you guys up that you're going to be playing for something meaningful these last two games. Have you felt a sense of urgency around here to make good on that and to get yourself into this position where, hey, you know, these next two games, there's a lot at stake and some good things on the other end of it potentially?
Absolutely. You know, our mentality is 1-0. That's what it's been the last couple of weeks. You know, just seeing how the guys have been responding has been awesome. You know, on the D-line, we've just been, you know, super locked in on not making mistakes. You know, ever since the Kansas City game, we're jumping off sides, having penalties and stuff like that, and we just can't have that. We can't be having penalties this time of the year. You know, we just got to play clean, good football, and that's what we did today. You know, you got to give a ton of credit to the offense. In the second half, they went and ran the ball amazing. Josh was amazing. The O-line, clean, playing hard, and you know, the whole team. We just played team football, and couldn't be more proud of the guys.
Max, you were making plays on rushing plays, on offensive plays. There was one play where Unique makes a tackle 12 yards down the field on a pass play. This team is just building a relentless attacking on defense. Would you talk about how this defense is maturing and growing?
Yeah, you know, it's like you said, we have guys running to the ball like crazy. You don't see D-lines running like us, and that's a credit to Marinelli and all the guys in our room. You know, we have a huge emphasis on our conditioning, our stamina, and just being able to go longer than the O-line can go. And we do it every single week. That's our main focus. So, you know, communication, all those things are super important, but effort, if you don't play with effort, you're not going to be able to, you know, do what you want to do out there. So, you know, I just got to give a big credit. You know, Jan played so good against the run today. I was super proud of him. He's super tough on himself, and he took it as a challenge, and he played great. And it was awesome to see.
Max, last week against the Browns, John Hankins had a pretty big game. You all were without him today, but you still had your best run defense of the season. What went into that overall effort just from the D-line of, even though you were without one of your big pieces, having a big day against the run?
Yeah, Hank's a beast. He's always, ever since he's been here, he's been doing a great job. But in our room, it's a next man up mentality. Phylon, Square, Solomon, Q, all those guys inside, they stepped up. And it was awesome to see. I think Phylon, that dude was blowing plays up. He's a special talent. He's got to stay locked in 24/7. That's what we emphasize, our whole group, next man up, and just being able to have guys rotate in and contribute anyway.
Hey, Max, today was Denzel's first game back in there. What was he brought to the mix all year long, really?
Denzel is he's a special cat, man. He the way he plays, you could tell, it matters to him. The way he hits people, I would not want to be hit by that man. I don't care how small he is. He puts a dent in everybody. He's just a different type of player, man. He's relentless. He brings leadership, and he's a guy you can trust back there. And I love having him as a teammate.
Max, out there, you really look like you were having a lot of fun. You brought a lot of energy. How much do you think you rubbed off on the rest of your team just in bringing energy and being fun and running around the ball?
That's what I try to bring every single day. From practice to the weight room to meetings. I always try to keep it positive and keep things light because we have a golden opportunity. At the end of the day, we basically control our own destiny. We got to just take it 1 week at a time, and I just try to be a light for my teammates in any way possible. So, having that juice. It's December, it's the day after Christmas. I love playing this game. So I just try to bring my teammates up in any way I can.
Max, Derek talked about how Allegiant Stadium kind of felt like this is maybe the best atmosphere this year. You're in December, it's an important game. You're giving your fans something to cheer about. Did you guys feel that and play off that energy?
Absolutely. The fans were, they were into it today. You can tell. It's super exciting. We want to be playing meaningful games in December. That's what matters. And I think the fans were amazing today. They were going crazy the whole time.
Max, to end the first half the way that you guys did and then come out as well as you did in the second half, what was the locker room like? What was the conversation kind of like?
There was a lot of conversations. Everyone was just, staying locked in, not getting too high, not getting too low. You can't have mistakes in critical times like that, especially right before the half. But the offense responded. Josh came out guns blazing. He was running through people. The O-line took it as a challenge. DC made some critical big plays in the second half. So you just got to give it, credit to them, credit to Ole and all those guys. We responded, and on defense we had to do what we had to do. So it was encouraging to see for sure.
Max, a lot of times another team can fire up a defense, a specific play or celebration to get you guys fired up. When your team has costly turnovers like it did, does that fire you up as well? Like, we got to get this back, not let them steal that energy or feed off of that, so your own team's miscues sort of fire you guys up?
Yeah, when they were like right before the half and they got that pick or whatever on the screen, their whole team was like in the end zone, celebrating in our end zone. And I know personally I wanted to run in there by myself with 30 of them. I didn't even care. I was about to start, going off. But, that stuff bothers us, especially on our home field. But it's a part of the game, and I think a lot of guys responded to that. We don't want anybody celebrating on our field, feeling like they run the place. It's our home. We want to protect it at all costs. So whatever it takes to motivate us. I know every guy's different. But for me personally, like I didn't like that at all. So I was glad we can respond to it and end up getting the win.
You guys all set? Okay, thank you.
Oh, yeah, appreciate it.